recreational marijuana use, it's known, right? It's legal in 24 states across this country. A lot of people have a hard time believing that something that chills most people out could actually cause someone to become like murderous, like to stab a boyfriend more than 100 times with 2 different knives and then turn on the dog and stab the dog and then turn on themselves and actually stab herself in the neck and the face repeatedly. These are the things that Bryn Speecher is accused of doing. And during the trial, Speecher has been out on a $510,000 bail, right? So Thanksgiving at home with the family. But now it's trial time. And then she's going to take the stand, we expect, tomorrow. And it's face the jury and try to convince them. And the clock is ticking. Case is expected to go to that jury before the end of this week. And if she is convicted of the charge that they've come way down to, involuntary manslaughter, want to guess how long she could be up for in prison? Take your time. Call a friend. That's it. 4 years. 4 years. 108 stabs, 4 years. I want to bring in Tony Biasotti. He's an investigative reporter for the Ventura County Star. He's been following this case very closely, and he was in the courtroom today. I wish I was in that courtroom with you, because this is one of those cases, Tony, where I just feel like I need to see everyone's face for it to make sense. So I'm gonna get you to be my eyes and ears and start with the jury. How are they absorbing all of this, if you could read their face as tea leaves?
Yeah, the jury's actually been pretty poker-faced. I've occasionally kind of looked over and see where do we think, where are they going with this? How are they hearing this? And they really haven't given any signs. But on the very first day of this trial, it started almost from the get-go with some really graphic body camera footage from the police when they first arrived at the scene. I don't know how much I want to get into it, because it was one of the more disturbing things I've seen in quite a long time of doing this job. But it definitely showed her in a state of psychosis, stabbing herself in the neck. It was very graphic, very bloody. And at that, you could definitely see jurors kind of, eyes wide. As far as what that means, I don't know, because, it's one of the very odd things about this trial is that, as you said, it's a manslaughter trial. The charges were reduced from murder. That means basically that the prosecution agrees that she was in a state of cannabis-induced psychosis. That's not really something that's being argued at the trial. That's just kind of, accepted. The legal issues at play, I guess, are whether she was responsible, to the degree to which she was responsible for putting herself in that state by voluntarily ingesting marijuana. Or, her defense basically is that she had no way to know that that would happen from it. She was a very naive, inexperienced user, that the guy she was dating kind of pressured her into taking this couple of bong hits, and that, because of that, she couldn't really be expected to foresee that she would be driven to psychosis by this.
That's the other thing. Tony, this is the other thing. We're of a certain age. I think I can speak freely with you about what marijuana used to be like when we were kids, and it wasn't like this stuff. And so that's an issue in this courtroom that, they talked about cannabis that was 4% THC that was found in the apartment. That is extremely low compared to cannabis today, which is known to be somewhere closer to around 20%. But then we heard testimony that her boyfriend, who was stabbed to death, Chad Amelia, had in the past purchased cannabis that was 31%. Now, that would be on the extraordinarily high level. So does it seem as though that's the argument that the defense is going for? She may have had cannabis that was more like crack in that bong.
I mean, it's just that she had only smoked a few times, had told people that it never really made her high. And I think he was kind of like, well, try this, What her story to the police was, he said, I'll give you something more intense. There's no suggestion that it was anything other than marijuana, no other drugs in anyone's system, but just that it might have been stronger. The idea that, where the 4% came from was in the bong itself, they couldn't get anything they could test. It was burned. They could identify that it was THC, but not how strong it was. They found some marijuana in the house, upstairs in his bedroom or something, that was originally tested at 4%. We heard some testimony today by an expert. I just don't know how reliable that is. It seems like maybe with today's testing, and that, maybe the sample wasn't tested right away, that 4% is highly questionable, especially given the effects. There are records of the victim buying his weed from a delivery service where he ordered something that was supposed to be 31%. So, unless he found a drug dealer who was time traveling from 1968 or something to bring him, ditch weed with 4% THC, it doesn't seem very likely. And there has been some expert testimony that 31% might be it, which is kind of more typical of, modern day strong marijuana, which is what the victim, Chad O'Melia, was used to smoke. He had the same thing.
Very strong.
It didn't really affect him negatively.
And I should also say that that's the THC. Nobody knows if this might have been laced with fentanyl or something else, and maybe Chad might have not known either. There's so many variables. But would you come back and?
They couldn't have found any other drugs.
I know. That drives me crazy that they didn't test for all the different kinds of things that we don't even know at this point. But would you come back and be the eyes and ears again for us on this? Because it's really good to know what it's like when she's going to be on the stand and how the jury absorbs that. And I look forward to hearing your report on it.
Yeah, we should hear from her either tomorrow or the next day. I think tomorrow.
Can't wait. Tony Biasotti, great job. Thank you for this tonight. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.